In this video, we'll go over how to deposit a dataset in the UE Bristol Research Data Repository. When you log into the data repository, your work area will appear. This shows any datasets that you have created, as well as their current status. To add a new dataset, click on New Deposit. Read the declaration before agreeing to the terms of submission. Please be aware that you cannot upload a dataset without agreeing to the terms. Once you have agreed, click Next to go to the next page. On the Access Control page, fill in details about the ethics and sharing requirements for your data. Fields marked with a star are mandatory. You may be required to complete additional fields according to the answers you provide. Choose the classification type of your data. This could be open, restricted, or controlled. If there are any legal or ethical issues that the repository team need to be aware of, or any specific requirements for people wanting to reuse your data, you must include this information in the ethical statement. If at any point you want to take a break and come back to the dataset, click the Save and Return button at the top or bottom of the page. This will save the dataset to your work area so that you can come back and edit it at a later date. When you're ready, click Next to go to the next stage. On the Data Files page, you'll see two options for uploading your data. If your data is already stored in another repository, add the name of the repository and the URL into option 1. If you're uploading a dataset to be shared in the UE data repository, complete the relevant fields in option 2. Starred fields are mandatory. Ensure that you choose a license and who the data needs to be visible to. Only upload data if your data is classified as open. If you've declared that your data is controlled or restricted on the Access Control page, please do not upload any files at this point. Contact the Library Research Support Team at repository@ue.ac.uk for more advice. When you're ready, click Next to continue. On the Project Details page, complete the fields to give information about your dataset. If you are unsure about a field, help text is available by clicking on the question mark buttons. Add as much information as you can. Try to think about what it would be useful for people accessing your dataset to know if they wanted to cite or reuse your data. When adding creators, ensure that you include a UE email address if they are from UE. If they are not a member of the university, then you do not need to include their email address. As with the other pages, fields with a star are mandatory. When you've completed the information, click Next to go to the next page. If at any point you want to return, you can always click Previous to move back a stage. On the Data Collection page, add information about how the data was collected and processed. An orange warning box will appear if there are any mandatory fields that you've forgotten to complete. You'll need to complete these before continuing to deposit your dataset. In this example, I said on the access control page that I had a participant consent form as part of my project, but I haven't uploaded the template copy as the field requires. I'll do that now and upload the participant information sheet at the same time. When uploading the consent form, you'll need to ensure that the content is set to consent forms. This is how the system will know that you have in fact completed the task by uploading the consent form. While we don't ask specifically for the participant information sheet, if you have one of those, please upload it as well, as everything is useful when it comes to checking what we can do with the data. Once all the information is complete and files are uploaded, click Deposit Item Now to deposit your dataset. The status will change to Under Review and your dataset will be reviewed by the repository team. Please allow up to 2 working weeks for review to happen. If we have any queries about your dataset, we'll contact you for more information before we make anything public. Once we have reviewed your dataset, the status will change to Live Archive and the dataset will be publicly discoverable in the data repository. For more information about depositing a dataset, contact the repository team at repository@ui.ac.uk.